Hello my friends. If you're an overseas worker, this is the video for you. This is the real translation of phrases in English that we use. I work in a care home as a cleaner. I've worked in the care sector since I left school really, and over that time I've met a lot of overseas workers, agency workers or staff that have come over sponsored or come over for a couple of years to get experience. And I was working with a Bulgarian lady who, I say lady, there was nothing ladylike about her at all, but that's another story. And her English was quite good. But she also said that when she came over here, that the English that she learned in school was completely different to the way it was spoken in England. So I've also conversed with many other nationalities, African, we've had some Spanish workers, a lot from the Philippines, but their English is generally really good. They don't need any help. But their English is quite American. The accent, they've got the American twang to it, some of the words. But that's not their fault. That's just how they've been taught. So moving on. If you've come over here to work in a care home, there's going to be certain things that you will need to do, that you will need to understand. Now, if you're on a dementia unit, there's going to be lots of phrases thrown around, lots of key words, words that are professional, and there's also going to be real words spoken by the real workers, the people who actually do the job. And when they're not writing things down professionally, they use a different language, which is a little bit confusing to yourselves when you're just starting out in England. So I'm going to go over the important details. Now, one thing on a dementia unit or in the UK as a whole, if somebody is feeling under the weather, which means poorly, ill, unwell. So if someone is feeling sad, someone is feeling they're in pain, somebody's feeling a bit lost, they don't know what to do, they've got dementia, so they're confused. The main thing, the most important thing, I can't stress this enough, and I am going to do a video to show you how to do it. The most important thing you can offer to somebody that is agitated or upset, or any of these things that I said earlier, any of those feelings, is, do you want a cup of tea? Or do you want a coffee? Once you know that person, you'll know what they drink and what they prefer, but that is cast iron way to make somebody feel better. Come on, sit down, let's have a cup of tea. That is all you need to do. You don't need to say, I'll go and get a nurse, or sit down in that chair, I'll go and get you some tablets. All it is come on, let's sit down, I'll make you a cup of tea. In that voice, nice sing-songy voice, nice, calm, relaxed voice. Come on, I'll make you a cup of tea. So with that calms the situation down straight away. You may hear the carers talking about the residents. I'm going to tell you a list of these phrases, and you might be able to understand what the carers are saying when they're using this terminology, because it's weird. Okay. Now, somebody might be off their rocker. So that means they're very mad, they're agitated, they're upset. Another one is going loopy, which is the same. Kicking off. Now, you may know kicking off as regards to a football game, there's kick off, but this is kicking off with regard to behaviour. So they've got a strop on. That's another one. Somebody's upset, they've got a strop on, they're grumpy, they're wound up. You've wound them up. So it means like the behaviour is escalating, it's winding them up. They're on edge, which means like they're on the edge of their seat. They are starting to get upset and agitated and anxious. They're not happy to be there. You're riling them up. They're riled up. They're upset. There's another one, another phrase. They've got a bee in their bonnet, which is basically, you can picture a bee under somebody's hat. A bonnet is a hat. They've got a bee in their bonnet, so their head's not in a good place. The irate, you might have heard that one. Seething, you probably heard that one. They've got their arse out. That's another word for them being upset, agitated. Aggy, that's another one. Or they might be feisty, which means angry, strong, resistant. So all of those phrases, but there's another one which potentially will be another video because there's too much information in that for people to get on board with. It's a very difficult topic to try and explain, which is sarcasm. Now, in England, we are a very sarcastic nation. So when I say sarcasm, some people see it as an insult. Some people they can understand it. It's very difficult because it can be insulting in a way, but it isn't meant. It's a playful. It's another video. So yeah, the sarcasm, you might hear one of the carers say, "Oh, he looks happy," when in fact he's the opposite because he's being sarcastic. Oh, he's full of the joys of spring, which means he's happy, but he's not. He's mad, he's angry. So there's two different meanings for the same behaviour, if you like. So that is today's video. That's just how to make your life a little bit easier as a carer. I'm going to put the video at the end, making a cup of tea. That is a cup of tea for one person. You have to ask them if they want sugar and milk. Okay, you can't just make a cup of tea with the tea bag and the water. Do you want sugar and milk? Milk and sugar? No. Come and sit down, have a cup of tea. Do you want milk and sugar? Find out if they're diabetic first. You need to liaise with the staff. But yeah, in a nutshell, the cup of tea thing is a biggie. People underestimate that all the time. In the UK, a cup of tea solves all your problems. So I'll be doing little videos like this, little snippets of the English language and how to use it. And I'm hoping it will help you. So please subscribe to the channel. You'll see all sorts of weirdness going on. No particular topics, it just whatever is in my brain. And this is what's in my brain now. So to all the foreign workers, overseas workers, wherever you are in the world, you do a fantastic job. The country, the UK, would fall apart without you. So keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing.